everybody. Welcome to the stream. That was a good song. It is a good song. It's called Red Blaze by A Space Love Adventure. All of the music that we listen to today is by A Space Love Adventure. Hi, Miori. Thank you for the 34 months. Beautiful. For some reason, there was some kind of a glitch that was happening with the event list before we started. Here, I'll just swap over. Hi. For some reason, there was some kind of a glitch that was happening. So Real Never Ever, thank you for the 15 months. I'm just going to scroll up and see if oh, nope. That's as far up as chat goes. Okay, never mind. Never mind. But Ryan Logan, Icarus 2 Fly, Null Mass, and Grandmaster Sal all did something at some point, and you're all great. And I hope you enjoy the stream. If it was a resub, thank you so much for the support. If it was a new sub, welcome. We subbed with our vast offerings of emotes and chat banter. It helped, yeah. And suddenly, I appeared. I graduate high school this Saturday. I've been watching you since 7th grade. Oh, I just wanted to thank you for always being there. Being like a mom. You brightened my day and got me through depression, so thank you. What, Roxas? I'm so happy for you. I can't wait for you to go on the next journey of your life. And I'm so glad that I did anything positive for you at all. That warms my heart. Need to post your mermaid post on Instagram. Oh, the drawing that I did? Yeah, I can do that. It's on the other computer. But yes, I can do that. Oh. Ah. Yeah, I'm gonna play Life is Strange with Jesse tonight, actually, I think. Oh, T-Rex, I'm not sure what any of those are. But I'm gonna send you a big ol' hug. I finished Katana Zero yesterday. Big recommendation. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to decide if I want to play Katana Zero finally today, or if I want to dive into Neon Sea. Neon Sea has super mixed reviews. I was reading them this morning because I was really excited for this game because the look of it is just absolutely like, mwah. But I was looking at the reviews for it, and the sort of things people were bringing up, I was like, I don't know if those are going to necessarily be a problem for me. I don't know if I'll actually care too much. It was things like there were too many puzzles. And I was like, okay, we've definitely played a game before where we were like, I get it, right? Like we're doing the same puzzle over and over again. If it's like that, absolutely, I get it. The other big con, I guess, in people's pro con lists was that it's just there's nothing like new about the story. Like the story is just very obvious. The Dexbonus YouTube lives. It does. I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying. Stuff's going up on there. What were the two games? It's Katana Zero, which unanimously everybody that I know is like, this game is great. Or Tales from a Neon Sea, which is like a pixel cyberpunk puzzle adventure game. Or that's what it's supposed to be. No, we didn't do a Civ stream yet. Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, right? I know a lot of people who have streamed Katana Zero. I don't know anybody who's streamed Tales of a Neon Sea, and we like to deal in the weird here. So I'm kind of like, well, maybe we should be the guy. Maybe we should be the guy that lets people know if it's the sort of game you would want to play. Everybody knows Katana Zero is great. Hi. What? What's happening? Oh, lot of opinions coming out of such a little body. I say as though I'm big. Meow! Meow! I know. Oh my god. I'm waiting for my coffee to cool down so that I can chug it because I'm so sleepy. I had a lovely morning with Babu, though. She's been great. I love when cats talk back. Watson is 100%. Well, she's Siamese. And Siamese are known for just being loud. But yeah, she's absolutely the sort of cat to talk back. Where is she? There she is. Watson, what are you doing? Yeah? Oh, I didn't know. Yeah? I see. You're looking at the door like you can't get out, but it's definitely cracked. It is. Don't ignore me like I'm lying to you. It's true. Caught licking some butt. You know cats. That's what they do. Yeah, Stachi. I'll figure out a good day to do it. But I've already had a couple of friends be like, "Yo, do you want to do a duet?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, yeah, why not?" I hate when my mom catches me licking some butt. I don't know what to say to that. If I'm being real, I have no witty comebacks or follow-ups, so I'm just gonna let that sit in the air. The door is not open enough. Eventually, if she's convinced that it's not gonna work for her, eventually she's going to do the thing where she just like stretches on it and it'll fall forward, and she'll also fall forward and you'll be able to see it. So if that winds up happening, you can enjoy the view. Also, please don't judge me for how much Diet Coke is in the background, because I went to the grocery store and they were like, "Do you want 4 giant packs of Diet Coke for $10?" And I was like, well,
welcome,
I guess so.
Fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
How can you pass that up, right? That's what I said. I was like, man, when we do drink soda, it's typically Diet Coke. Or like Sam's got this Kraken deal going, right? So like to have Coke around as a mixer is really nice. So I was going, well, what? Where are you? What's happening? Where'd you go? What? She's like hiding behind my chair. Where are you? There you are. What are you trying to tell me? You're so insistent. But I don't speak cat, honey. What? What? Do you want snuggies? You can come hang on my lap if you want. She's literally running away. She's camera shy, I guess. I remember when she was trying to steal your cashews on the podcast. It's a classic. It's a classic. Yeah. If any of you weren't around when Watson was like a kitten, when we had first found her, there are really good gift sets of her. I'm like eating out of a bag and she's chasing, like trying desperately to get in the bag because she was starving when we found her. So she has like for a while, for like a couple of years there, she had like really unhealthy food attachments. So the second there was any food around, she like went bonkers. Yeah. Boone, what's up, dude? Cat. Indeed, cat. I've realized I'm starting to like absolutely confuse the shit out of Clark. There are so many words that end with AT. So, like today, she was doing one of her weird things where she was grabbing all of the toys and handing them to me. And I was like, okay, I've got all the toys, right? And she started handing me the blocks that go in the bucket. And I was like, oh, can you grab me the bucket? Seeing if she would like know that, if she would recognize that word, because she definitely recognizes words like book, right? So I was like, can you grab me the bucket? And I pointed at the bucket, and she looked over and then looked at me and looked over and looked at me. And I was like, can you get me that? And she goes, cat. And I was like, no. So she knows hat, she knows cat, but I think if we work other at words in there, it's gonna get real muddy real fast. It's already muddy. What was the other one? She knows duck, and there was a word. You're all gonna say fuck. There was a word that rhymed with duck. I'm trying to remember what it was. And I was like, oh, this is like another word that she knows. I can't remember. That's so weird. Yeah, I can't think of what it was. It was elephant. That's what it was. Yeah. What was her first word? She started consistently saying hi first. And then second thing that she started consistently saying was daddy or dada. I drop off the last A because she doesn't say like dada. She either says daddy or she goes dad, get dada. Right, with like a soft A on the end. She now says mama a lot. She tries to say cat. She tries to say hat. She says wow. She goes uh-oh all the time. If she drops something, uh-oh. What else is she saying? I'm trying to think. She says ice. If I go mouth, nose, ears, eyes, she'll go ice. So cute. And she tries to say a lot of things. Like cup. Fuck, that's what it was. It wasn't duck. Oh my God, we got there. So she says up all the time. She says up, 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 because it's in her favorite book. And I don't think she like fully understands what it is. She says it all the time now. So originally it was like up, up, up. And we would pick her up to help her understand like, oh, up is you saying you want to be up, right? But now she just says it all the time. And then today we were playing with the cups. And I was like, cup, cup. And she goes, up, up, up. And I was like, cup? Yeah. Also yesterday I was filming her and I said, nice. And she went, ice. It was so funny. Nice. It's so cute. She's also started doing this thing. Wait, I took a video. Oh, there she is. When she eats, she grabs my arm. Like halfway through eating, she'll reach over and like grab my arm. So this is after she had grabbed it, but stopped grabbing it and was just like holding it there.
What is with this hand, honey?
She just leaves it there.
Yeah, what's this new thing you have to always grab my arm while you're eating?
She just sits there with her hand on my arm. Ah, 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 ah. It's so funny. At least you have an echo now. Yeah, somebody referred to this as like the beginning of the echo chamber stage. One of you guys said that. It's so funny. Yeah. You just say things and she's like, "Can I say that?" And she tries and you're like, not quite there." Can you tell if she's got a British or an American accent yet? Isn't that funny? I was actually thinking about that yesterday, that she's like spent a lot of time with both. She watches shows with both. I think she sounds very American, but I don't know. Just because, like, when she tries to say a word like hat, she like hits the A the way that I would hit the A, you know? But yeah. What are you doing? Okay. But like she spent a ton of time with both sets of grandparents, right? She spent time in England, in America. She sees, our friends that are American more often than she sees, British family and stuff. But still, like she spent a decent amount of time around like both ways of talking, not just with Sam and I. So she's probably going to wind up like my friend who grew up the way that she's growing up so far and mostly sounds American, but has some blended stuff in there. Like pronounces some words where you're like, what? Why do you pronounce it that way? And then you find out, oh, it's because your mother is English. What are you doing? Okay. Damn. What are you trying to tell me, darling? What are you trying to tell me, sweet girl? Mm-hmm. Stop licking that, please. You're licking all the fur off there. Yeah, it's not ideal. Huh. It's turning a little compulsive. I don't like it. Yeah. I don't want to put one of those cones that looks like flower petals on you, but I will. It'll be a good Look, do you see this like big patch right here? She looks at that arm all the time. Watson. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Meow. Meow. Do you plan on doing kindergarten? Oh, I mean, not in America. I think we'll be in England by then, by the time that she's in like daycare and kindergarten and all that. We watch a British cooking channel on YouTube. My 7-year-old called an eggplant an aubergine a couple weeks ago. Amazing. Mm-hmm. That's the plan. Oh, there she is. Yeah, that's the plan, is to move to England in the next like year or so. So, yeah. We'll just move close-ish to family. I mean, the only reason we're moving there is for family, so. And a reminder, no politics in chat, so don't start getting into an argument about like, well, I mean, I don't know why you would want to go there because X, Y, and Z political shit. Just clamp it down. Clamp it down. Do you think you'll like it more than LA? I think that I'm the sort of person that for the most part really likes to settle and nest and have my like home, right? And that's honestly why I stayed in LA as long as I did, because I got comfortable here. And I, have so many friends here. But I'm also the sort of person that gets excited at the prospect of like a new adventure. So going to England, I think, will be an awesome new adventure for me. I'm excited. And I'm not going like when Sam came here, he took the plunge like big time, right? He didn't have very many people here that he knew. So me going to England, I'm going to be in a much better position than Sam was in, and I fully acknowledge that. Like I have family there, I have friends there now. I've been able to visit enough that I like kind of understand how some things work just in general. So yeah, so I'm going in with like a pretty good primer of knowledge. The things that I think will wind up being difficult for me are just the cultural things, right? Like you can say, oh, but everybody, at least everybody speaks the same language. Like at least everybody there speaks English. Absolutely, sure. And you can goof all you want and chat about how like, well, if you go a few miles south, you won't understand a fucking word anybody says. Like I get that. But what I'm saying is the way that people interact with other people is different. And I mean, it's the same from like the West Coast to the East Coast of the United States, right? Like the way that people interact is different. So yeah, like moving there, again, I have like a pretty good base and primer on what I'm getting into, but I think I'll hit some roadblocks when I move there of like reading people wrong, and interacting in a way where I'm like, I don't know if this person hates me or not, right? Like that, the normal stuff that happens when you move to a new place where it's just culturally different. That stuff always happens. So I'm getting used to the idea of those struggles now, but I'm very grateful that I'll be going and have people there that I know like me. I have family there. I have friends there who enjoy my company, I think. So don't smile ever and you'll blend in. No, I can't do that. Oregon is great. Rain is the shit. I agree, Boone. I miss Oregon. But it rains all the time in England too. Although they were saying that, climate, everything. It's raining less and less in England, which is not great. So I won't be able to drive there, no, but Sam can drive there, so. It's always gloomy. I like that though. I feel like I thrive in gloomier weather. I've I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I haven't gotten used to living in a completely temperate environment. Like summers suck, but the rest of the year, it's like Fahrenheit. It's like 70 degrees, right? Like it's so just middle of the road. Like, yeah, you could wear a sweater if you wanted to, or you could wear a tank top. It doesn't matter. You're fine either way. Like, that's literally the LA weather almost all of the time. And I've definitely gotten used to that. So I'm gonna be that guy where the second that it's raining, I'm like, it's so wet outside. But I love it. Like, I love the sound of rain, and I don't mind being in rain. I just need to like reacclimatize, you know. I thrive in the darkness. I do not. I love the overcast. I love the gloomy, but I need the light. I'm not a nighttime person. Sam and I are the opposite in that way. I think Sam could just wake up in the evening and stay up all night and thrive. Like, that would be like his perfect life. I can't do that. How is Oregon weather? Oregon is very lush. So like there's lots of greenery, there's lots of foliage, there's just like beautiful plant life everywhere. The whole Pacific Northwest is pretty lush that way, which is amazing. But the weather in general is like rainy, gloomy. If you grew up in it, well, I wouldn't say that's true. When I was in, I want to say like 4th or 5th grade, was the very first time I had heard of seasonal depression, because one of my teachers was like, I don't really know what to do. Is my child like literally anytime the weather is like this, he's horribly depressed. I was so confused. Like, what do you mean? Like, that happens? Like, that blew my mind. Yeah, like some people, even when you grow up there, you're like, I'm not meant to be in this weather. Like, this deeply depresses me. My professor in college and I connected on the fact that we're both the sort of people where we like the daytime, we like the light, we don't mind the warm weather as long as it's not too warm. But if the sun is out, annoying. So annoying. Like, I hate when the sun is just there. Like, can a cloud cover it, please? Like, all I want in the world is for the sun to just be hidden behind some clouds. Like, I want to benefit from your existence. I'm down with you being around. But if you're in my eyes, I'm mad. Like, I'm really angry about it. So, yeah. The only reference I have for Oregon is the animated travel commercial. It's accurate. It's real. That is honestly the best travel commercial that's ever existed. Hold on. I'm going to find it for you guys. If you want to see what Oregon is like. I love this video. Holy shit. Is this it? No, this can't be it. It only has 69,000 views. This is it, though. This is it. Okay, here we go. It says 69. Nice. Nice. Clark just appears. Nice. I did some concept artwork for that commercial. What? Amazing. I love it. I like when I first saw, sorry, I'm actually not going to talk about it for a second just to give people the opportunity to watch it. It's literally a minute and a half long. So I'll just wait. I'll wait until people watch it. We really do have everyone. God, you're right. You're right. We've got doctors, we've got dentists, we've got auto people, we've got wood people. We've got everything. Oh, BDR, thank you. I'm so glad. Oregon has cloud whales? Shh, don't spoil. So yeah, when that commercial came out, everybody was like, is this a trailer for like a new Ghibli movie? Like, what is this? And then at the very end, it's like, come to Oregon. It's so good. It's just like, ma. Yeah, isn't that an incredible commercial? Like, it's so good. There's one titled Only Slightly More Exaggerated. Yeah, I haven't watched that one, but I saw that as like an option that popped up. It was nuts because the first time that I watched this, aside from being like, oh, is this like a Ghibli trailer? There were things in this video where I was like, these look like they were modeled after places in Oregon. Like there's this whole scene with the huge bunnies in the tulips. We have like a tulip, like there's a huge tulip farm that people go to all the time in Oregon. That's beautiful. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, it looks exactly like the tulip farm. Like it's all color coded and everything. Like it's it's just really cool. Yeah, and the big rock. Is that at Cannon Beach? Where that like huge rock is? It's like right next to. Anyways, it's great. Oregon's great. You should all visit Oregon. Yeah. All of the places that you see in this are like, I think that's why it says only slightly exaggerated, right? It's like actual places in Oregon. And then they're like, how do we make this extremely fanciful, right? It's so cool. I've been all over the place. I think I will always live in Oregon or Alaska. When I went to Alaska in the 8th grade, we went to this is not going to surprise anybody. In fact, I think I've said this before. We went to a little town in Alaska where they were like, there's like maybe 50 people here, right? It's like right on the edge of the Alaskan bush where just it's like nearly uninhabitable, like nobody lives there. Yeah, we went to this little town that had like nobody in it. They were like, yeah, but you know, everybody here's happy and they've got everything that they need and they're good. And I remember turning to my mom and being like, I want to live here. Just like, oh my God, I want to live in the middle of nowhere with like 20 people. That sounds awesome. Now as an adult, I'm like, that probably would have been miserable. Because what if you hate those 20 people? But as like a younger person, I was going, yes, that sounds awesome. Because I had romanticized the idea. I grew up in a small town, but I wanted like an even smaller town for some reason. I don't know. Why is Travel Oregon not called Exploregon? You know, because we didn't have you, Kyle. Because we don't have you on the team being like, guys, we're rebranding immediately. I think it's probably along the same lines of why sometimes communes sound really appealing, right? Or like just a situation where you go to a few people and you're like, let's just get land and, you know, we'll all have our jobs and we'll be self-sustaining. Like, I think that that's an appealing idea to a certain type of person, me. Um, because it's like, I live a simple life, but I have people and I have like my way that I'm contributing and helping everybody. You know, I think that sort of lifestyle, again, not to everybody, but to a certain type of person, I think that lifestyle sounds nice, you know. I'm way too reliant on easy access creature comforts. You know, I remember when my friend went into the Peace Corps and she was saying that like a lot of the people when they were gearing up to go, right? When they were doing like their primer stuff, a lot of them were like, wait, so I can't have this and I can't have this and I can't take this and I can't do this. Like, I don't know if I can live, right? Like, I don't know if I can live without those things. But once they're in a situation where they just don't have it, it's like, okay, I guess I don't have that. Right? Like humans adapt so easily, but if if that's not the sort of thing that you want to pursue, if like the idea of simplifying or the idea of going somewhere without those things, if the interest in that doesn't outweigh, you know, then it's like, why would you do it? And I get it, right? What does the Peace Corps do? So the friend that I had, who went into Peace Corps, was part of a like educational vertical. I think that I don't know for sure, to be honest. Like, I think that there are aspects of the Peace Corps that are all about like rebuilding and helping with like infrastructure in some places. But there's also like a section of people that just go to countries that want like to learn English and stuff like that, and they go and they become like a teacher at a school in the middle of nowhere and like teach whatever. So she was a teacher. She went and taught in Ukraine, in Vlodomirets, Ukraine, and I went and visited for a couple of weeks. I did like it. Yeah, I did like Ukraine. Ukraine was fascinating because, um, like half of the country, at least when I went, right, and this was years ago, when I went, half of the country was like falling apart, right? So everywhere that you went, it would be like one building that was extremely well taken care of, that was like really nice, and then the next building would be rubble. Right? Like this idea of, if it's mine, I'll take incredible care of it. And I'll like fix it and I'll rebuild it. But we can't do that to every building. It's just impossible. Like the sort of places that got hit really badly, we can only do so much. So everywhere that we went, even in Lviv, there were like big areas where you were like, oh, this is an area that hasn't had an opportunity to be like rebuilt. So they speak Ukrainian. Well, they speak like a mix of Ukrainian and Russian because they had like Russian rule over there for so long. And so it's very valuable, at least when I was there, and I was only there for a couple of weeks, and I learned as much as I could while I was there, like talking with the other teachers and stuff. But it's rare for somebody to speak purely Ukrainian there. Everybody pretty much speaks a mix. But it's also very valuable for people to know as much Ukrainian as possible, because there was kind of an effort to push Ukrainian out and to make it so that everybody just spoke Russian. So there's a lot of value being placed in like passing down Ukrainian and like keeping Ukrainian alive. But yeah, it was interesting. It felt similar, but also it felt a little similar to going to Estonia. So when I went to Estonia, it wasn't that many years after Estonia became independent as well. So in Estonia, there were like areas that were very old, like very old looking. And then there were areas that were so new, like newer than anything I had ever seen in America, right? So that was really interesting too. Estonia was also very fascinating. But in Estonia as well, they're like, we need to make sure that, the Estonian culture is kept alive as well as possible. Hello from Tallinn. Hello. Yeah, I want to go to more places in Eastern Europe. I didn't get to see very much of Eastern Europe. Has Sam? I don't think so. I don't think Sam has had a reason, really. Um, for me, it was like I was given opportunities, right? So my brother and I did our whole backpacking thing when I was 19. We saved up money for a really long time. And we went with his wife and her, his wife at the time, and her brother. So it was the four of us, and
Welcome,
we
you fine,
we like
cat-loving,
backpacked
coffee-drinking
from
burrito
Portugal to
babe.
Ireland, and we did like as many countries as we could, and that was like an incredible trip. Like, I'm so glad that I did that. um it was tough, and it was awesome, and I got to see so many places, and it gave me kind of an idea of like, oh, this is a place I would love to come back to and spend more time here. I haven't had the opportunity to do that with like Germany. I really loved Germany, but I haven't really like taken the opportunity to go back and really spend some time there. But places like Belgium, I've been able to go back to. I haven't gone back to Prague yet. I loved Prague. But in that trip, we went to Estonia because my brother had gone there with like a school thing. And he was in love with it. So we went back to Estonia. So that's why I wound up going there. And then yeah, I went to Ukraine literally because my friend was in the Peace Corps in Ukraine. So yeah, we were told to travel around Prague at night, and that was awesome. We like walked all over Prague at night. It's so beautiful. Like so many things are like lit up. It's so nice. Yeah, we went to Greece. Um, every old man that I met in Greece was really creepy. It like kind of tainted it for me. I'm sure they're not all like that, but it was really weird. um, Spain is tainted for me because that's where all my shit got stolen. And we had to like chase a lady down and literally pull my stuff out of her pants. So Spain is tainted for me. And I'm trying to think what else. Italy was fun, but I was sick in Italy. So I didn't like go anywhere in Rome really. And Florence, Firenze. I didn't get to see very much of Florence either. And we were going to go to the Val d'Aosta, where our family is from. We were going to go like more north, more toward the Alps, and like see that area. But we weren't able to. We didn't have time. So Portugal was great. Oh my God. Portugal was such a great place to start in. And I've been to Portugal 3 times now. Portugal is awesome. It's very clean. Everybody's super nice. Like, it was a great place to start in, because it was so... The only thing that was difficult was figuring out where to go. Things weren't always labeled in ways where we were like, this is this street, right? Like sometimes we were like, where the fuck are we? But everyone was just so helpful and so sweet. It was great. Yeah, our mod, Ms. Random Badger, is from Portugal. Just side note. Yeah, I've never been anywhere in Asia at all. Nowhere in Asia. And I would love to go. And I've only done a little bit of Eastern Europe. So I've mostly been to a lot of European countries. I haven't spent any real time in Canada. I haven't spent any real time in Mexico. They're like right next door. Yeah, we know so many friends. Like, number one, Alex, like, goes to Japan constantly and is fluent in Japanese. Like, we know people where we're like, if we were gonna go to Japan, we know people that we could go with that would absolutely help us out, you know? That would be very valuable to have with us. Is it possible to have a kid and still travel, or do you have to be super rich? I mean, I haven't tried yet. I wouldn't want to travel with her at this age because I can't communicate things to her easily. I would want to wait until she was a little older. But I would love to travel with her if possible. If we're living in England, what is nice about being in England, I was about to say in Europe, and I know a bunch of people would be like, Brexit, no politics, shut it down. But it's so cheap comparatively. It's so cheap to get from England to like France, Italy, Spain, like any of that is such a cheap flight. um, so taking her places like that to start off with will be easier on the wallet, I suppose. Technically, geographically, Europe. Yeah, I just didn't. I know you guys. Any chance for a goof, you slip right in there. What tips do you have for having a home office based job and a child? I'm in a good position because I have Sam and we're both like flexible enough that I can work and he watches her and then he works and I watch her, right? Um but I would say much like with most situations where you're like I'm going to work from home, having it separate from the normal like living spaces is so important to say like that's where I work and everywhere else is where I spend time with my family, where I cook, where I relax, right? I don't let myself work in the living room, right? I only work in my office. Like that kind of delineation is so important, child or not. I know people who, what they'll do if they aren't able to have like their partner watch while they work, is they'll find babysitters or like ask people to come over and literally just like hang out in the next room. Because that way you can like work on your stuff, not worry about it, but you're easily accessible if somebody needs you, especially like if the baby isn't that big, right? But I mean, a lot of people aren't like they have to work, right? Their kid has to wind up in daycare early. So it honestly it like kind of depends on where you're at money wise, I think sometimes, which sucks. I know, right? Honestly, like I can't remember who I was talking to, but I've said a iteration of this. That's the word I was looking for, I think. I've said an iteration of this many a time, but I was saying that like if I could do something simple and peaceful at home for the rest of my life, I think I would be happy. I just have to like make sure that I reach out and see people and all of that. But like having the option to do this is so special and I'm aware of that. So I get to, I get to like cook and I get to spend time with the baby and I get to do all of these things easily. So yeah, and it helps that Sam is flexible as well in that way. But working in your PJs, I am. I'm in my sloth pants right now. Oh, so glad you like it. Yeah, I was saying to Danny, the dog gang shirts are like such a nice length and they're super soft. I was like, yo, I want all of our shirts on this shirt. Like, this is so nice. Can we see the sloth pants? Sure. They're Crendor pants. You can get them. The sloth is adorable. It's pretty cute. Yeah. I've worn these pants so much. The sloth is like, he's getting some wear and tear, but they're looking loved. These pants look very loved, I think. Are you going to design more shirts like that? I mean, you yourself. I would love to design more stuff. Yeah. Oh, they're literally sloth pants. Yeah, they're pants with a sloth on them. Yeah. I was very surprised to find the zipper on the wrong side with my cat gang sweater. The wrong side. Yeah, I would love to do an art stream every Sunday. Why do you have a chicken in your house? I'm looking around, trying to figure out what you mean. Is the zipper on the back? Zippers are on the opposite side in the USA compared to EU. I knew that was it was that way on trousers. I didn't know it was that way on sweatshirts as well. Oh, Watson? Are you a chicken? Watson, just push the door open, my dude. Watson, just push it open. Watson, it's literally open. Just push it. Watson, what the fuck are you doing? Is there something pushed up against it? No. My family. Hi, night night. Night night. Love you. Have a good nap. Mwah. Night night. Bye bye. Clark's going down for a nap. That's what I thought. I thought maybe Sherlock was sitting on the other side and she was like, move. He wasn't. Why do you knee us? I don't know what that means. My cat's the opposite. She barrels her head through a door even if it's not cracked open. Hey, Joe. How are you, dude? Joe, I got 4 episodes in on Barry. But I stopped in the middle of episode 4. You guys hear the nursery rhymes? It's good shit. No, I haven't played more Oxygen Not Included. I don't think I will. Barry is a HBO show. And it's about a hitman who decides he wants to be an actor. Basically. It is fun. I hit a point where it was very like secondhand embarrassment and I had to pause it and then I walked away and didn't finish the episode. So I'll finish it sometime. Oh, oh. If if you close the door, the kitties can't poop. Sam, if you close the door, the kitties can't poop. Yeah, we've been watching Game of Thrones, but let's not start the conversation in here because inevitably somebody will be like, wasn't it crazy when blank? I don't want people to get spoiled, so. I can't handle secondhand embarrassment. I have trouble with it too. A lot of English shows are like steeped in that. I have such a problem with it. I can't do it. How old am I? I am 31. And so I can never finish The Office. Yeah. It's the script. I was saying to Brie, it's the scripted stuff that I have trouble with. Because she was like, oh man, you must hate Nathan For You. And I actually am totally fine with Nathan For You. I agree that it definitely has like moments where you're like, oh my fucking God. But like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like a scripted like drama or a comedy show where it's like built in cringy moments. It's hard for me to deal with. I'm like, somebody wrote this in. Somebody wrote this in a show. I can't do it. The only exception I think is Prison School. I fucking love Prison School and I can't explain why. Because whenever people are like, oh man, Prison School, I can't watch it because of the secondhand embarrassment. And I'm like, oh no, I actually fucking love Prison School. I don't know what it is. Prison School is Pog. I love it. I love Prison School. It's such a fucked up mess. I want them to do season 2. I want them to pick up the anime again. It's so fucking good. Maturity warning for anybody who's like, what's that? Big maturity warning. Big maturity warning. But it's I don't know why I love it. Is the manga over for Prison School? I actually didn't know. Oh, it is over. Interesting. No, I haven't finished the manga. What are we talking about? We're talking about Prison School, a manga/anime. The manga ending isn't my favorite. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I rarely enjoy the end of manga, to be honest. Most of the time it's like, well, that was a lot of build up with a terrible conclusion. But what can you do? Is the anime good? I'll recommend it to my wife. I really like it. It is not the sort of thing that everyone is going to enjoy. I don't even know how to explain why. It's like a fever dream. It's so weird. Oh yeah, but I mean, Full Metal Alchemist is perfect from start to finish, in my opinion. Not biased. It's not the sort of thing I would recommend to someone blindly. Yeah, I would say have your wife look up a summary and see if she's like, sure, I'll deep dive into this. It's not the sort of thing that I would look at typically and say, that's going to be for me. I typically don't like ecchi stuff. I don't like secondhand embarrassment stuff, but it's just so fucking weird. that I went in. I went in really hard on it. So, yeah. I would say it depends on the person for sure. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Feel free. Enjoy. We started watching Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's really good. We've really enjoyed that. The animation is fucking awesome. That's running right now. And you guys were absolutely right about the most recent One Punch Man episodes. I had said that Sam and I watched the first episode and we were like, that wasn't bad. And then we watched the second episode and we were like, yikes, that wasn't great. The third and fourth episodes, I think, were actually pretty solid. As good as the Madhouse episodes? No. But, like, way better than what we were getting. So there are moments of brilliance inside of the episodes. They're like, every episode so far has had at least a moment where you're like, that looked so cool, and then the rest looks very copy paste weird, right? I feel like the last couple of episodes we had more moments that were like, that looked cool, that looked really clean, like, so I'm hopeful. I will say that some of the moments in the last episode specifically, I think were even funnier and even better in the manga. But the manga it's one of those manga where when you read it, you're like, I'm basically watching this animated, right? It's drawn in a way where it feels animated. I did see what you meant about the fight scenes being hard to follow. Yeah, they were either hard to follow or they were like blurred out or they cut away from them or like just weird things. Like they're making weird choices to avoid animating difficult stuff. And that's frustrating as a viewer because you want to see it's an action anime, right? So you're like, I want to see the difficult stuff. I want to see the cool shit. Like, show me the cool shit. But yes, the pacing is also really fast. I know that there are going to be some of you who are like, I like watching anime, I don't like reading manga. And maybe you're dyslexic or you just don't enjoy reading or whatever. The manga for One Punch Man is so solid. Like the remade manga, not the webcomic by One, but the like full manga that they made based off of the webcomic is like incredibly well done. The art is just so good, and again, like the action, the way that the action is drawn in the manga, you feel like you might as well be watching an anime. Like it's just so fluid. Yeah. So I would say if you're really dissatisfied with season 2, try picking up the manga and see how you feel about it. Erland syndrome. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up. Oh, interesting. So it's not about Is Erland syndrome the same as dyslexia? Oh, first thing. Right. Okay. So it's not even just about words. It's also like imagery. Interesting. Sorry, not to say that something that you struggle with is fascinating, but I've never heard of it. Tons of people in my family have dyslexia. So I'm very familiar with that. My dad can't read anything. My brother can't read anything. But I've never heard of this before. I'm not following JoJo, no. The first couple of episodes were like, it's not that I don't enjoy the weirdness of JoJo. It's when the weirdness is also accompanied by a lack of information, like readability isn't there. If it's like super weird, but I still understand what's going on inside of the context of the weirdness, I'm like, okay. But I had trouble with, I've said this before and people have said, oh, it gets so much better. But like the first couple of episodes were very, what the fuck does your stand do? Like it doesn't, and then people would explain to me like, oh, his stand does this. And I was like, that still doesn't make any fucking sense. Like what? So I had a real issue with that and didn't pick it back up. The villain's stand is even worse. Oh my god. Yeah, I've watched the other ones. I think I've watched every season of JoJo's. I didn't finish Diamond is Unbreakable, even though I adored it. I actually didn't finish it. I should go back and just watch the last few episodes of that. But yeah, this season of JoJo, I've never been like a huge like JoJo's fan. I just enjoy it. So it wasn't like, well, I have to watch JoJo, right? So when the first couple of episodes were a little like, I enjoy the memes. JoJo is a meme factory for sure. JoJo's is now part of the Shonen Jump vault. Is it? Look at her. She's so cute. Oh, look at her. I love her. Okay, anyways, sorry. That's apparently the last thing that I did. Let's see. Let's open my app. It's like, have you been watching Kimetsu no Yaiba? Oh, yeah. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's all on there. Look at that. Nice. I have a lot of chapters to catch up on of other stuff. I meant to say, what is JoJo's about? So Araki, like, changed what JoJo's is about pretty much every season. Like, the whole concept of JoJo's is so different from one season to the next. But overall, it's the story of one family. The Joestars. It's like every season follows a different member of for the most part, follows a different member of the Joestar family. And like their battles and their powers and sort of like the fallout from the season before maybe. But that's really the characters are the only tie-in on what's going on. There's a reason it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like every section is different. Yeah, exactly. The first season was literally about vampires. To give you an idea, for anybody who just like picked up JoJo in the last couple of seasons, the first season was literally about vampires. And now it's about like stands, which are like Persona, but in the real world, kind of. Like, it's so weird. No, it shouldn't be. The alert box should be in the right place. Yeah. Each gen has a person nicknamed JoJo. Yeah, maybe that's a better way to put it, because they're not all Joestars, right? It's the same. It is the same family, I think, the whole time, but. Gangstar. Oh, that just makes me wish that there was more of the gangsta anime. One of the tragedies of our age. What a tragedy. Just it's a tragedy. That's all it is. Just a tragedy. How about the Beastars anime? Has that started? No, it doesn't look like it has. Gangsta ended so abruptly. Yeah, the place that was making it shut down when they weren't done with it, basically. The manga's great though. If you liked the Gangsta anime, that's another situation where you should definitely check out the manga. They translated like the art style really well. Watch the manga pod for that for Gangsta. Yeah, we've done 2 manga pods on it, I think. Manga for Beastars or Gangsta? Oh, I'm talking about Gangsta. Gangsta like had an anime. The studio got axed, so they had to just kind of like be like, I guess it's over, right? So the last episode of Gangsta, people were like, what the fuck? Because it doesn't feel like it's the last episode of anything. Like there's no closure. There's nothing. It just ends in the middle of a lot of shit. It just ends, right? So I'm just here to say to you, if you really liked Gangsta and you'd like to know what happens, the manga is really good. Beastars, the manga is also really good. If you want Zootopia but for adults, that's what Beastars is, and they're getting an anime really soon here. We do still do that, yeah. It's fascinating to me how many people don't know about any of the stuff I do on Tuesdays. I get with both of them, right? I don't typically play MMOs. Not everybody's going to be into Final Fantasy 14. Every Tuesday I play Final Fantasy 14 with my cousin. We play it together. And people, every single time we do it, people will come in and be like, whoa, I had no idea you played this game. Even though we've been playing it every Tuesday and streaming it every Tuesday for years. And then Manga Pod, a lot of people also have no idea. They're like, oh, I didn't know you did a show like this. Or, oh, I thought that you stopped doing this forever ago. And I'm like, what is it about Tuesdays that is so confusing? Hi, my love. Hi. Everybody say hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. Have you read anything by Junji Ito? Yeah. Uzumaki is one of the only 10s I've ever given out on a manga pod. Uzumaki is like my favorite horror manga. Even though there are parts of it where you're like, okay. The hours on Tuesday are different, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I guess so. But the hours have been the same. Again, the hours have been the same for years. So I don't know. It just surprises me. Yeah, so the way that we try to do MangaPod is like the first part of MangaPod, the first like 10 minutes, 15 minutes is totally spoiler free. So we have an overlay that says spoiler free, and then we have an overlay that says spoilers. So that you know if you're just like tuning in randomly, you know whether you're in the spoiler section or not. But the whole beginning is designed to be like, we read this thing, did we like it? Do we think it's worth your time? Here's a small summary. And then we all say like, yeah, I think you should go read this. Yeah, I think you should go read this. And typically, if it's really good, we're like, you should definitely leave. Like, if you haven't read this, you should absolutely leave and read this and don't get spoiled. So we try to make it accessible that way, because we know that it's the sort of thing where people don't want to like tune in and instantly be spoiled on a thing that they might want to read. We try to make it like really obvious, but yeah, if you tune in at the beginning, it starts at 7:30 on Pacific time, 7:30 p.m. If you tune in at the beginning, it'll be spoiler free, and if the overlay says spoiler section in the center, then you can know like, all right, bye, like I'm out. Where can we find what manga you're covering for MangaPod? Our subreddit, reddit.com/r/mangapod. And we always have a schedule of the first 6 months of the year or the last 6 months of the year. So we do a separate schedule for like 6 months at a time, and figure out everything that we're going to read. So you can go there and you can literally look and be like, what are the next few things they're reading if you'd like to read them. Mm-hmm. MangaPod's where I found out about Promise Neverland. After Lou said you got to go in blind, I went in blind. Good, yeah. Yeah. I have been keeping up with Dr. Stone. I think I'm like 3 chapters behind. Something like that. Sometimes I just like don't read stuff for a couple of weeks and then I go, oh yeah. I haven't read Dr. Stone this week. I haven't read Promise Neverland this week. The second season of Mob Psycho is it's so good. Probably one of my favorites. Mob Psycho in general is just so great. The tone of it and like the message of it is so well done, and it looks amazing. When does the Dr. Stone anime come out? Dr. Stone anime. Oh my god, I haven't even watched the trailer for it. Look at that. July. Oh, same time as Vinland. Fuck. My summer's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to trying Dr. Stone. My library has 5 volumes of it. Oh, that's awesome. I have a bunch of books to give to the library. I haven't done it yet. They're just sitting in my trunk. I 10 billion% recommend it. I remember when I first started reading Dr. Stone, I messaged Gmart and I was like, I fucking hate all of these like verbal eccentricities that Dr. Stone has. And he was like, then you're going to hate this manga. I got used to it though. So it was fine. I'm new here. Hi, Kieran. How are you? I was wondering what's your opinion on Attack on Titan. Um, I really, I really enjoyed the first season of Attack on Titan, and we read the manga. And there was a point where I realized that it wasn't interesting to me anymore. I'm not fully caught up on Attack on Titan, but we've read like a decent amount of it. Everybody says that the anime is like really good though. Like especially right now is really good. So I've been thinking I should probably go back and watch it. But I thought the first part I really liked the first part as an anime. The first part as a manga I thought was really muddy. When I said that on Twitter, everybody lost their fucking minds. So apparently that's like is a tricky thing to say on the internet. I thought the first part was like there were lots of moments where we'd be in one place and then it would jump somewhere else, and maybe it was in the past, maybe we had jumped forward in time. Like it wasn't clear. There wasn't a whole lot of clarity in how the manga was progressing at the very beginning. So I was so grateful that we had the anime. Right? I was like, oh my god, the anime is so much clearer. And then we kept reading the manga, and the manga definitely improved, and the artwork improved, and the story purposefully got muddy, right? Because there were like all of these secrets and all of these things like being uncovered and all kinds of stuff. And so then it was like there's clarity in the visuals, but the story is purposefully being muddied now. And that was rough for me, and it like sort of lost my interest at a certain point where I was like, okay. But everybody says that the anime right now is really good. So I hate anime. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. That's fine. There are a lot of I assure you, there are plenty of people in chat right now that either do not watch anime at all and have no idea what we're talking about. And if that's you, thanks so much for still sticking around during this conversation. Yeah, or just like don't like anime, just have no interest. The fact that you're here hanging out despite the fact that we're deep diving into shit that you don't care about is very sweet. Thank you for being here. I hate pants. Who doesn't? I don't watch anime, but I do read manga. That's cool. Manga, like, more than any other, like, reading material, I can slam through manga. I keep thinking to myself, I should really just sit and do One Piece, because I think I would get through it really fast, actually. And I can skip a bunch, right? I can skip everything that I've seen in the anime. I read the manga when it first started over here. Oh, Pedantic Nerd, thank you so much for all the biddies. I appreciate it. Yeah, when I first started being when I was able to get into the IRC channel where all of the fan translations were, the scanlations, if you will. I started reading One Piece, and then I'll be honest, I started pirating episodes of it because we didn't have it here. And I thought it was so good. But I haven't read very much of the manga, like, at all. I know, gasp! My sister is also the sort of person who I would say devours anything she can read. It's incredible. My mom said that when my sister was little, they had to grind. Wow. They would ground her from reading. I don't know how. I don't think that worked probably, but when they were like, we need to ground Chrissy. What are we going to ground her from? Books. That was my sister. Yeah, my mom's also a big reader. Well, my mom has slowed down as she's gotten older, but she reads every night, every single night. And every morning she does her puzzles. She's so cute. Every morning she does her Sudoku and she does a crossword every morning. Why would they do that? Because my sister was an insane troublemaker. She was like, my sister did all kinds of like shit where you would want to punish them somehow. And they were like, the only thing she cares about is reading. So I guess we're going to ground her from reading. Yeah, no, they weren't like, you're reading too much. That's not what was going on here. It was Chrissy would do something awful and they would be like, what do we do? I guess we're going to not let her have any books in her room. Like, it's just like that was the only thing they could think of because it was what she cared about the most.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito
Well-read
babe.
and a troublemaker. It sounds like a super villain. She works in a hospital now. She's crushing it. I've had books taken away as discipline as a child as well. Yeah, man. That never happened to me. It was I was grounded from the TV and I was grounded from the trampoline. Literally, I would play on the trampoline every single day. So yeah. There was one time that uh I got I got grounded like from basically everything. For a decent amount of time. There was no TV, no computer, no trampoline. Those were like the big ones, and I was so sad. I used to love reading, but being forced to read in school ruined it for me. Interesting. What had you done? Um, I had been very obviously lying to my teacher and my parents about like everything. Like um and yeah, I was caught out basically. It was just about like schoolwork and stuff. But like I had been lying about my grades to my parents. I had been lying to my teacher about my homework, like all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, once they had student teacher conferences and my parents were alone in a room with my teacher while I was outside, they were comparing notes and they were like, I think Brooke is lying about everything having to do with school to both of us. So, yeah. The tangled web we weave. Yeah, it was definitely one of those like, well, I lied before, so I guess I gotta keep lying. That's not true. You can always stop lying, guys. Yeah. And my parents like took me home and they were like, here's what we talked about with your teacher. And I was like, And they were like, so I think it's understandable that number one, you should apologize to your teacher for lying to her. And number two, you should apologize to us for lying to us. Number three, you're grounded from everything until we decide you're not grounded anymore. And I was like, so, yeah. Your parents are way more reasonable than mine were. Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's not as bad as it could have been, but I obviously like remember it. Like I remembered all of that. So is this the thing where you took stuffed animals? No, that was daycare. When I was a thief, when I was a little thief, no, that was daycare. That was like before I was even in real school. I was very little when I did that. Were your parents yellers? Not at all. No. No. Nobody yelled in my house ever. For better or for worse. I used to do all that stuff too. When you finally get caught, it's a weight off your shoulders. Kind of, yeah. When it's like, all right, I'm finally going to get punished for this. It's all out in the open. I don't have to lie anymore. Like as a kid, just like, okay, I'm facing the music. It's done. I used to get in trouble for talking to people in timeout. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Okay. Well, it's nearly 11. We've just been sitting here chitty-chatting about anime and life for 2 hours. So, well, not quite 2 hours because we started a little bit late, but let's take a break. When we come back, we'll actually play Neon Sea. And we'll see. We'll see if all of the criticisms are correct.